I'll tell you, sometimes the best things in sports happen when you least expect them. And it's when you see something that's never happened before and it comes completely unexpectedly. Like whatever you'd call the end and entirety of the Atlanta Falcons Cowboys win, a 40-39 victory for the Cowboys on Sunday. And I mean, it's just nice for a change to not be on the bad side of a major coaching blunder at the end of a game. It seems like from the Cowboys' perspective, it's always Cowboys and Cowboys analysts and Cowboys fans arguing over who should know to tell the player to jump on the football as soon as it's live on an onside kick. It seems like forever we're always talking about Jason Garrett being responsible for it, and this is the one time, seemingly, it was the Cowboys not making the major coaching blunder at the end of a game that cost them the football game. It was so nice to see. But even that blunder notwithstanding, I think there was a Cowboys blueprint within that game that gives us an idea of how they're going to win football games in 2020. But first, shout out to my sponsors for producing today's video, betonline.ag. Betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts, and also Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas freaking Cowboys. On the postgame show, Brian Broaddus and myself, we were getting ready to just absolutely kill the Cowboys coaching staff for how badly they messed up basically 3/4 of that game against Atlanta, only for them to rise from the dead, outscore Atlanta 30-10 of the second half, come back from 15 points down in the final 5 minutes of this game, and come back from 9 points down in the final 2 minutes of this game without any timeouts. You need to get a little luck when that happens. The Cowboys certainly got luck with Atlanta not understanding the kickoff rules, and certainly some confusion because of the way the onside kick was presented, kind of helicoptered around, and everybody was kind of looking around like, I'm not sure what to do. And then you have a groupthink situation here where one guy for Atlanta is not jumping on the ball or doing anything aggressively, so it impacts everybody else for Atlanta not doing anything. And then voila, 10 yards later, C.J. Goodwin jumps on it. The Cowboys have life. And 49 yards later, the Cowboys kick the game-winning field goal. How about them? But even in the midst of this game, we saw the Cowboys' blueprint for winning games. And that is the strength of this passing offense. This is something we've been talking about the entire offseason. This is an offense that's capable of putting 40 or 50 points on the board if it needs to win games. They don't have a great defense, so their offense is going to have to shine. And in the first half of the Falcons game, the offense was so reliant on the defense to save them, but by the time the defense needed the offense to save them, the offense was up to the task. And that was the best thing about watching this game unfold, is the identity of this football team is in its pass offense. This has to be an offense that's prolific, that's moving the ball down the field, that's making plays down the field, big plays through the arm of Dak Prescott, and we saw that. Prescott with 450 yards passing. He also had 3 rushing touchdowns. As I'm sure you know by now, Prescott, the first quarterback in NFL history to have at least 400 yards passing and 3 rushing touchdowns in the same game. A remarkable performance from a guy that we needed to see this from. How often have we talked about Dak Prescott, the franchise quarterback, needing to lift up this franchise when nothing's going right? When your defense can't get out of its own way and the offensive line is in shambles, you need to have a quarterback that can compensate for everything else you don't have. And in the second half of this football game, Dak Prescott looked every bit as much of that franchise quarterback that we've been arguing over for a long time now. The other part to this blueprint that we didn't see in this game, so the Cowboys blueprint, outscore opponents with your dynamic passing offense. The issue is maybe don't give up 39 points, and that's where the other side of this blueprint needs to show up, because the Cowboys' blueprint on offense is a pass-heavy offense with a prolific passing attack. On defense, it's a really good defensive line that can get after the quarterback and make the quarterback uncomfortable. Well, we have seen through the first 2 games of this season very little in terms of pass rush from the Dallas Cowboys, which is completely and utterly exposing what they don't have in their secondary. But let's not blame the secondary. The secondary was going to be bad coming into this season. This should not have changed our opinion of the secondary. It was going to be bad. It's bad. The issue is the Cowboys felt like they were going to do a better job of getting after the quarterback, and they have not done that through 2 games. And that's the biggest flaw that I see in this team right now that needs to be fixed. They need to figure out a way to manufacture more pressure, because it's not like the 2 offensive lines they saw for LA and Atlanta are world-beating offensive lines. In fact, for Atlanta, the biggest weakness of Atlanta, beyond their defense and the shambles that has been in since Dan Quinn took over, is their offensive line. They don't have a great offensive line. Matt Ryan was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the NFL last year. So a huge flaw in that Atlanta attack is their offensive line. The Cowboys' defensive line absolutely did nothing against it. We need to see DeMarcus Lawrence and the rest of this defensive line come to life in order to save the Cowboys' defense, because the back end of this defense is just not good at all. But a win is a win is a win is a win. In the last 2 years, teams are 7 for 109 at recovering onside kicks. 7 for 109, which is 0.06%. Somehow, some way, Cowboys got a stroke of lady luck, and Atlanta, not knowing the rules of an onside kick, allows the Cowboys to be now 8 of 110 in onside kicks in the last 2 years in the NFL. Pretty remarkable feat for a special teams last year that was everything but special for the Dallas Cowboys. Consider hitting like or subscribe, because I post Cowboys videos all the time. And also shout out to my sponsors, BetOnline.ag, your online sportsbook experts, and Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys.